My intention was to make something that could be accessible to somebody who didn't necessarily see themselves in it. And somewhere in the middle to like 2/3 of the way through, I realized that I was making a story about myself and my family and our stories.
Ready? Mm-hmm. Live!
Hi, I'm Malcolm Washington, the director of The Piano Lesson, and this is my journey as a first-time feature filmmaker. The Piano Lesson deals with a lot of really big ideas, and ideas that when I first read it really stopped me and made me wrestle with them. One of them is just the idea of ancestry and lineage, and the thought that sacrifices made by your great-great-grandparents affect the life that you live today and who you are as a person, how you identify, and the story of your life and your family.
You feel that? That's your family, your blood. Now you ask her how them pictures got on there. If she don't tell you, I tell you.
I realized I was a storyteller when hanging out with my family, there's four kids, everybody has a huge personality, and in order to like cut through that, you have to have some shit about you. And when I remember being younger and making my siblings laugh for the first time, I felt so powerful.
Don't say you left out of here with a whole sack of money. Turn some of it loose.
I was just fixing to ask you for $5.
I had so many directorial influences on this project. I was watching a lot of Tarkovsky movies, like The Sacrifice and The Mirror were kind of two big influences. T deals with time and space in a really interesting way. And then there's kind of offshoots of that where Terrence Malick was a big influence of mine. The Thin Red Line, that became really influential, both in how we shot it and our cutting pattern. There's a great movie called The Last Detail. The editing in there is so radical, cut by Bob Jones, a legend. They just jump into these cross dissolves while the dialogue is happening, and that was something that me and my editor, Leslie Jones, we watched when we were cutting, and that became a big part of the language for the film. It's juxtaposing images that would create new meaning and lend itself to the kind of poetic nature of the story that we were trying to tell.
Go ahead and marry, don't you? Wait on me, ho ha. Go ahead and marry, don't you? Wait on me, wow.
I was listening to so much music when I was preparing for this movie. For each of the characters, I kind of had a different energy I was feeling. So for Boy Willie's character, I was listening to a lot of Fela Kuti and James Brown and just like really funky, fun kind of stuff, like percussive things. And for Avery's character, I was listening to so much like 70s gospel music because the character of Avery was the slippery character. You never know if he's like earnest or full of shit. And there was something about the 70s gospel stuff where it's like the Superfly era, but also in the church, and those characters kind of embodied both of those spaces, and that contradiction was always really interesting to me.
But at least you can walk over here right now and make it into a celebration.
Avery, I done told you I don't play on that piano.
My relationship with the film changed a lot throughout the course of making it. My intention was to make something that could be accessible to somebody who didn't necessarily see themselves in it. And somewhere in the middle to like 2/3 of the way through, I realized that I was making a story about myself and my family and our stories. And I just started seeing myself so much in the work, not on purpose, but just because it was there. In your subconscious and the decisions that you make along the way, it turns into this self-portrait of a family. And it became overwhelming to me, and it was something that I had to wrestle with of do I want to continue in that direction? Do I fight against that? And ultimately I listened to the movie, which told me to do it in the way that I know how. And in the end, I got this kind of document that represents my story, but much bigger than my own stories, the stories of the Black American experience, which is really just a series of interconnected stories that span space and time. So it became this much bigger thing from starting as a very small thing. Go see Piano Lesson on Netflix right now.